Hi, I'm Lynn Schnebley, and I am the ambassador for Heaven's creating and protecting goddesses and archangels over life. And I'm just going to say a quick prayer to Heavenly Father. Please help me to do this in the most expeditious fashion and help me to do this for your glory. In your holy name, I pray. Teshuva, Tishab. Okay, now you're going to learn a new story. Um, I'm going to be looking at what is actually on my computer, looking at the timestamps when it hit so that it validates the other online videos that I am sending to people. One of the things that looks at what we're doing is, let's see, here we go, the Nicene Creed. And I'm stating that if we take a look at all of the various miracles that we say are formation to our faith and what helps to keep it along, we have now found out that Moses did not exist unless you're looking at Tutmosis III. Abraham and Sarah, these are more like archetypes. The Levites were probably the Libyans because they had the airlocks coming down. They were probably part of the sea people. That was the alliance. Israel is part of the alliance. And it's probably Israel, which is the goddess over oaths, marriages, war. But I don't know that. So once you remove Moses from the scenario, as well as the timetable for the creation story, given that Moses is supposedly the foundation of the Torah, which then goes on to become the foundation of Christianity, and Islam, then everything falls by the wayside. And so what I believe has happened is that God reached out first to help me, and then God used me so that they could help others. So I'm just coming into a foundational statement, and I am saying that the Christian church was established by a combination of Jewish and Saturn worshiping Thracians. Thrace pretty much ruled Greece. The Thracian tradition pretty much ruled Greece. It had taken on and melded with Semitic peoples who were alliances with sea people. It had formed alliances with the Libyans in Cyrene when they were in Egypt. And the Thracians are the dragon. They're much of the serpent people. Not all of the serpent people, but they really are much of the dragon. So the dragon has really been in control of Greece all along. It was in control of then. They moved into Rome. They basically took over Rome with the Dacians when Rome, yes, they basically took them over. And all of the early church fathers were either Lybian or they were dragon people. I'll call them the Thracians. So I'm looking at the First Council of Nicaea, and Constantine was a dragon. He was literally of the dragons. And so was Alexander the Great. And it says, we believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of all things visible and invisible. This is the creed that they came together. When you come through this, you will see that there's no Virgin Mary mentioned here. And then when we look at the First Council of Constantinople, that is when the Virgin Mary entered. I have a sneaking suspicion the Virgin Mary needed to enter, or some sort of non-worshipped, so to speak, fully godlike woman, because the last thing they wanted was a woman truly having control over men. So given the needs of, and I will go into what are the men that surround this, and a lot of them are, some of them are eunuchs, some of them are men who have forsworn women, all who say that women are bad creatures, which is, by the way, much of Greece. We begin to understand why they have this mother who prays for them, looks after them, and goes to the cross. The problem is And I'm just going to go forward with this until we go in and start seeing what's happening, what was happening online on my computer and elsewhere, so that you can be aware of that it's not some figment of my imagination. These are time-stamped. I'm not making this up. When I show you the greater picture of things, that's what's there. So if we go into the only gospel, which is a very Gnostic, and the Gnostics, when we go in and we see, let me see if I can show you a picture of the Gnostics. I think if I do this one, go down there. And I think we can get it very quickly this way. Uh-huh. All right, this is the church. You see the church is really covered. The basilica, which is off of the word of snake, the basilica, you see, there is the snake. And Nostradamus is really very certain about it. And this is really the formation of the church. This is from the Lost Book of Nostradamus. This is from others. And you can see that it is really the snake serpent that is really killing the Christ-like being. I believe this is supposed to be Palms. I'm not sure. But this particular individual, Cecrops, was supposedly one of the great founders of Athens that helped turn the tide for Athena, which of course has snakes as part of her background. And for a while, part of this Thracian church, when I went in to look at it, had the Union Jack on it, and I was wondering why that was there. So this is really these Middle Age prophets are really telling us, or early modern age, this is Middle Age, this is early modern age, are really beginning to tell us where the problem is stemming from. And the problem is that the church is actually based on this Greek understanding. The Gospel of John is the most Gnostic of those serpents, the most Gnostic of all of them. And I think I want to go in and take another look. List of videos. Let's see, biblical comparisons. Let's see if this one has it. Yeah, this is me. This is a telltale sign of what's there, but we're not discussing that. These are comparatives. Oh, here we go. For instance, in the Vulgate here, Sarah gets very different blessings from Abraham, and her name is removed and her blessings are very different. But the Vulgate, as well as the Septuagint, have completely dropped her blessings. So this is something very different. And while I'm here, I'm going to tell you that in Genesis 21, it is God who has a child with Sarah. So that would mean that the child, or children, because it's plural actually, the children that he has with Sarah, there are two at the same time, male and female, that these children, and this is the Hebrew, this is what they don't want to discuss, that this would then completely negate the Gospel of John, that Jesus was his only begotten son, even if there was a Virgin Mary. This we're going to talk about is going into the 5 eyes coming out of the cloud. In this case, this will come back to Comey because this is happening at the same time. Comey's birthday is supposedly the same of Nostradamus. It's either Nostradamus was either December the 14th or December the 21st. In James Comey, it was the 14th, and I'm going to say that James Comey was aware of what was going on in my life. And I'm not going to go into any more of this, but this is the 5 eyes, and this is one of the reasons why we're going to collapse this organization into one and get rid of it. And these are the fire signs. So this is the 3rd fire sign, which is the Sagittarius. And the 5 eyes are right after the clergy, this particular pope. And it's the 3rd fire sign. And the 3 fire signs, the 3rd fire signs, this would have been Francis. It also would have been myself, but it would have been Francis. So let's come in here, and I want to see if I can get the others here. And no, I don't have it here. See if I have these. Oh, this is the Calamite. This is the cedar. This is all, that's for Artemis. The calamite is the bride of Christ flower. Now in Israel, I think 2015. So I will go into some of this later. Oh, poop. Oh yeah, this is part of the additional, I think, is it Attis? With the Phrygian goddess who was the hermaphrodite. Oh, KB Kabbalah. KBLH, and Sybil in Greek, KBLH. Yeah, and they both deal with trying to bring everybody back to someone that isn't male and female, which has nothing to do with God. No, I guess that's it. No, I just want to take a moment. Sorry. Maybe this is right. Ah, here we go. More. Draco. Oh, see, yeah, all these things, all in the Lost Book of Nostradamus, Draco. By the way, Elon Musk's birthday is June the 28th. Yeah, oh, here we go. Yeah, I need to put that right up on the front when I do this, don't I? This is where your gnosis is coming from. It's crazy. This did not occur in Egypt until the Macedon Alexander the Great came in. That's when the whole world came under the dragon and the snake. Yeah, rapist. Okay, so I wanted to show you that, and I did. Let me come out over here. The original Gospel of John has, for Jesus's mother, and it is the only indication that she was at, whoever her mother is, she's a no name. So she has a Dionysian event with wine, a no name, just mother. And she has an event at the mother, no name, at the crucifixion, but the author manages to name Mary Magdalene and Mary, is it Cleopas? So these women are named, but Jesus's mother is a no name, and that lets me know that the whole thing is fraud. They can lie. They want to draw. The thing about Satan and when they lie is that they want to bring you so that you can believe in that, and they can push it, the people that are in charge, but they don't actually want to come out and say it, because that would mean that they're really lying to you, and they are really lying to you. So there is no Virgin Mary that we know of, and then there is no Virgin Mary, that there is no Mary at the crucifixion, Mary his mother. They're not in the other places. And whether or not there was a virgin, I think we have to be talking about the high priest, this high priest, and I will find him for you, Joshua ben Say. Joshua ben, there's Joshua ben Seth, who they say is sometimes Joshua ben Say. There we go. And this was the high priest who was there about 3 BC, who was there until about 4 AD. And then he has to go because he's kicked out. And Ben Say would be a sacrificial sheep. So his name is Joshua Sacrificial Sheep. And all of the priests with Herod the Great were trained as either, which is, they said at least 1,000, were trained as either carpenters or masons. So on October the 17th, and we're going to go in and take a look at it right now. I received, where is it? Let's go find it. (2016). This is one of these things here. So it's a download from my computer. And what happened is that my church, at that point, I was going to St. Vincent Ferrara, and I kept a foot in St. Paul. I went to St. Vincent Ferrara because my parents were there as well. And they were getting ready to celebrate Phantoma, this whole year of Phantoma. As it turns out, it's probably a sham. But I don't know that certainly. I mean, the children were abused. They were tying up their wrists so it was bleeding. It's not like something that she would ask you to do, and the background is the socialists are coming in. So there's this other big push coming out for Phantoma. And in fact, the Lost Book of Nostradamus, I believe, discusses the problem of this through pictorials. But anyway, I went in to see what Fatima was about because I knew when I went through my second confirmation in 2009 that Guadalupe that I had never heard about. The miracle was for December the 12th, that was my birthday. Now, I have been baptized 3 times, all of it before the age of 13. One was, trying to think how old, newly born, 2 3/4, and that was all. One was Episcopal, the other was Catholic with my brother, and then one more was when I went away on a retreat with the Brethrens, total immersion, dumping in the water, those kinds of things, because they didn't think maybe the first 2 didn't count. So when I was going and getting my second confirmation, because my first one, which means I've been anointed with oil 5 times, when I did this, no, I've been anointed with oil 4 times for these things, not 5. When I went in to do this, and this was in October. So let's just see what date we're really working with here. We're working with Monday the 17th. So that's when I actually taped it. And I have the phone, the original phone that I taped it on. That was that day. This is when I transferred it onto this thing. And this is when I transferred it. This is what we're looking at it today. So let's come out of this. Let's look at it. And although I did it on October the 17th, this is coming up as December the 12th, my birthday. It's talking about protecting life. So now when I'm reaching out to the Russians and when I reach out and do all these other things, it's because there was nobody doing this and everything was supposed to be about Phantoma, but Phantoma didn't have any rights to this. So what you're going to see is that you go from Bishop Conley here, and I just showed you that it was, let's see if I can resize for imaging as, no, I can't do it, but we can do it anyway. So it says December the 12th here, but as soon as you hit read more, it comes up October the 12th. And you'll see that it happens a few times. I ended up calling this organization. The lady had a British name, British accent. And I said, how is this going on? How is this happening here? I was a little amazed because I'm wondering, is God calling me? What is happening here? And so the woman said they were aware that it was happening, but they didn't know how it was happening. So the people in this organization didn't know how this was happening. Now, you're not looking at me right now, and that's okay. I'm all right with this. So let's come in and see this one. And I have to assume that James Comey was aware that this was happening to me because I took the liberty to take my records to go Thursday, the day before he made his announcement, to the West Palm Beach office, the Republicans, and said, this has to be on Hillary Clinton's server. Not this, other things pertaining to the military. All right, here we go. So again, this is the 17th, 2016. Let's open it up and you can see it. December the 12th.
Here we go. Bishop of Phantoma, December 12th, 2016. When did he actually? Let's go down to, they actually wrote it. On October the 12th, 2000.
So I have a list of miracles. I have no idea how this happened, and the people didn't know how it happened. I ended up emailing the gentleman who wrote this.
You know, I know what I have to do. It's interesting. Phantoma on demand. That's because she doesn't have the answers. She's not giving. They're just giving out Hail Marys. And anyway, Bishop Conley versus Bishop Conley. And it says that it's written on this day, Christopher A, December 12th, 2000. And then when you click on it, by the way, G4S wouldn't let me open it up on my computer because they had this on my cell phone. They didn't want me to get a picture of it. Only after I made another picture. Elsewhere would they let me open this up.
Okay, what I just showed you is an intro to miracles. But now we're going to look at the Meghan Markle, Lamb and Beast, and this comes out of Revelations. So the dragon in Revelations is actually fiery dragon, not red dragon. And that's either the British, it's definitely with Thracian roots, and it could also be Elon Musk because everything that he puts up into space is the dragon. So Tesla's birthday was the 28th. Elon Musk is the 28th. Henry VIII is the 28th, hence Elon Musk's preoccupation with having boys. There's a lot going on there around the 28th. So there's Meghan Markle, Lamb and Beast. And what happened is that there was, when I found it, I didn't know what I was looking at. I thought this can't really be because everybody always thought, okay, the dragon is going to be China and the lion, we're not sure who the lion is going to be, but the leopard could be Iran and the bear is going to be Russia. But all of a sudden, I'm looking at Barack Obama being part of this entire setup, and his feet are in Chicago, which is a bear, and Cubs, or California, which is on the flag. And then his body, his father has the Black Panther or the Black Leopard. It's there. And he's got the mouth of the lion because he's a Leo, and he goes and he pushes all these things that are Leo. He has a birthday of August the 4th. Meghan Markle's birthday is August the 4th. Professor Gay, her birthday at Harvard, her birthday was August the 4th. There's the Leo eager lion, there's the Lion of Judah movement, there's the Invictus, there's all these things that have Leos on them, and I will show you even more in other things. So who is the dragon? Who is this? All of a sudden I don't know. And then when Meghan Markle comes up, I didn't know her first name was Rachel. Well, Rachel means ewe or female lamb. And lo and behold, the second beast, and this is where these black spots keep coming up, these squares keep coming up on my computer. Lo and behold, it is a part black, part white, and her first name, Rachel, means ewe. So the second beast has the body of a ewe or a lamb, and it has horns. And Jacob's beast from the Bible, I should say Jacob's sheep from the Bible, the females still have horns. And they're multicolored black and white. And now, with what she was doing at that point, she's taken on the mouthpiece of the royalty. So she has the first beast has given his power over to her. It's very interesting, and she becomes this mouthpiece. So let's come by, and there's a lot going on in her life. So I think we've straightened out a lot of these things here, but here we go. There was no sound in this. I mean to you. Okay, so let's move forward. It's here. That is for all. Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. So I don't want to continue with this because this is already long. There's a U. No, that's the masculine because it's got four. And that's what they look like. So I thought that was, yeah, Jacob gets Laban's goat. Yeah, that's where the story comes from. Really important story because she does it. She takes all of her father's, the United States, and brings this all forward. So I have a whole discussion a few times online with this. This is going back 2017, 2000, actually 2018 is when I went online. So let's come out of this. Did I turn it off? I did. And finally, let's come back here because I need to get going. And Our Lady of Guadalupe, I got on I got on October the 17th. But the actual name of Our Lady of Guadalupe, because that's the Spanish name, how it's tied in together, but that's not her name. Her name is close to that. And let's see at that point if I can find it. Oh, maybe I should just go through and find it. Oh, there we go. Here's the name. Talacupa. So they turned that into Guadalupe for Spain. But that's actually what it means, and it means she who crushes the head of the serpent. And in closing, I would just like to say that Our Lady of Ziton, any filming of this, you still have to look at it in terms of what's going on with socialism, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with all of the things that are going on in Egypt at that point, and that Mary is being worshipped by the Muslims, Islam, as well as Christianity. So this is a very iffy shot. And the fact that they said that there was no electricity going on in the area doesn't mean that there wasn't electricity going on in the church. And it wasn't an early hologram or whatever it was going on. But there's a lot of criticism going on there. Yeah, the Virgin Mary is one of the most important women in Islam. Our Lady of Lourdes. Where are the witnesses for this? So I'm showing you things that you're now witnessing, that I experienced, and you're witnessing it. Yeah. Where's the witness? The Secrets of Fatima. The witnesses are really iffy about it. One child saw all these things. There's no actual physical evidence that is there. I just showed you physical evidence. There's no actual physical evidence here for any of this. And some of this is very iffy. All of the prophecies are given after the events have occurred, or they're kind of generalizable. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that where's the evidence? And of course, this is now the Fatima Center, with faith does come miracles. But I'm showing you hardcore evidence so that you can have faith based on things that you can see today and not based on something that only one person saw. So this is something very different. Okay, thank you. God bless.